guys, Jay. Welcome back to the channel. So guys, something just got teased on Super7's Facebook page and social media, which is driving all Thundercats fans absolutely batty. Guys, the Cat's Lair was teased on Super7.com, and I want to take a deep dive into this and see exactly what was going on and if it's even possible that this might be coming to the Ultimates line of action figures. Guys, if you enjoy this type of content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I post up to 2 episodes a week, and I hope you guys enjoy. And don't forget to hit that bell notification so you guys always know when new episodes are posted. Guys, without further ado, let's take a deep dive into this and see exactly what was posted on Super7 social media and why the rest of us are freaking out about a possible playset for the Ultimates Thundercats line. Let's have a look. Guys, over on Super7's Facebook page, something magical happened today. Scrolling down from the top, we can see a post which really caught a lot of people's attention, particularly Thundercats fans. Clicking on this post, it goes on to say, Third Earth is calling you, hashtag coming soon. Guys, this is absolutely crazy. I'm totally beside myself. This, if those of you who aren't familiar with Thundercats, is the chest piece of the Cat's Lair. This is the home of the Thundercats, and is in many ways a holy grail for many people who are Thundercats collectors. Back in the day, the Cat's Lair was a crown jewel in any kid's collection. It came with a multitude of different options, including a firing cannon, laser turret. The Cat's Lair's head could be used as a cannon of itself, and it also had wonderful play features on the inside, such as computer consoles and other working gimmicks. This thing was just absolutely massive. Here we have Laura Legend standing right beside her own Cat's Lair. This thing was huge. I mean, absolutely ridiculously massive. The laser turret inside of the Cat's Lair was actually a light gun, which, if pointed at targets correctly, could actually blow them up, which was a lot of fun. Finding intact examples of this playset are quite difficult, especially in good condition. This particular store, hey, I remember those, is currently listing this particular Cat's Lair at $400 complete. Holy crap. This one has been tested and works and has all the included pieces. This is amazing. So it comes as no surprise that Thundercats fans have been waiting on bated breath for any sort of Cat's Lair playset to be announced by any company, and it looks like today something is brewing in the Super7 camp. Now, it should be noted that a lot of people who I've talked to are actually really quite concerned. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, only about a year or so, that we received our Thunder tanks that were ordered a year and a half ago and cost most fans a whopping $450. This thing is absolutely massive in and of itself, and to think that it might be possible to get an Ultimates Cat's Lair, that is just frightening. As a matter of fact, there have been no real examples of gigantic playsets like this. But if anyone's going to do it, it can be Super7. They've already had experience building gigantic playsets like Snake Mountain. This thing is an absolute beast. And of course, I have one right beside me, and it's absolutely huge. So I wanted to take a look and see if there were any other examples out in the wild of a custom Cat's Lair that has been built in recent years. And it just so happened, back in April, there were some amazing photographs going around showcasing just that. Heading over to the Facebook page Nerd Reverse, which showcases a whole bunch of different projects, including CG renderings of popular video game characters, ZBrush artwork like Christopher Reeves, and of course, popular characters in the community like Thundercats Panthro here. Back in April, they showcased something which kind of blew my mind and really gave hope to a lot of people who were hoping for something like this Cat's Lair in 6-inch scale. Nerd Reverse covered a Cat's Lair diorama by Dario NF, an Argentinian artist who literally has created Cat's Lair. Heading over to Dario NF on Instagram, he's a wonderful artist who's done a lot of work with different properties, including Star Wars, Ghostbusters, Thundercats, and so much more. Usually in the realm of dioramas and toy photography. This guy really is talented. Definitely head over to his Instagram page, give him a like and a follow, tell him that Jay sent you. Over the course of the last few months, it was made clearly apparent that Dario was working on a project which a lot of people were gaining interest on very, very quickly. His custom build diorama for the Cat's Lair, and has been documenting it quite frequently on his Instagram page. And more recently, back in April, he finally posted the final fruits of his labor, showcasing a completed version of the Cat's Lair. In his post, he goes on to say that Cat's Lair at Super7 is finished. This project, which I was working on for 4 months, is the biggest job I've ever had to do. He went on to say that it started with digital modeling of the steps, and parts of the legs were done from scratch by Dario himself. The rest was sculpted in polyfan and textured accordingly. Taking a closer look at this, I really can't imagine just how big this is. I think there's a shot of Dario standing right beside it, which we'll get closer to the end. But honestly, if there was a 1/6 scale representation of Cat's Lair, this is got to be it. Obviously, it's not 1-to-1 scale with the 1/6 scale figures. This is more of a third of a size Cat's Lair, which is very similar to the way LJN did it for their Cat's Lair. If you actually think about the size of a Cat's Lair, this would be huge, like absolutely massive in terms of proper 1/6 scale ability. Taking it down to something like third of a scale in relationship to 1/6 really would help in terms of getting this into a household. Dario shares some behind the scenes footage with us here, and we can really see the attention to detail that he's made with this particular sculpt. I love the new take on the Cat's Lair's head. I mean, this is really hard to take something from a 2D illustration, which was done, you know, by artists back in the day, to something which is tangible and 3D. I do love the way he's incorporated the LED lights in the eyes, which is a signature piece to the Cat's Lair itself. And the sculpting of the head is just so reminiscent of the cartoon. It's really, really special. Looking in closer, he really has given an overall texture to the stonework that was done by, believe it or not, the Burbles of all things. Yes, the Burbles are the ones who helped to create the Cat's Lair when the Thundercats were in need of a new home. And we can really see some inspiration from other stucco architecture. The incredible wash that he's added to the entire piece accentuate and really brings a weathered texture to the entire build. The Cat's Lair itself seems to be housed in some sort of warehouse and really does fit in with this overall environment. Looking further down towards the staircase, Dario added some LED lighting to help bring out some of the features of the ledges which lead into the Cat's Lair's main entrance. This is incredibly reminiscent of the original show and really does showcase the attention to detail that Dario has put into this piece. Zooming in a little bit, we can see the wonderful structures that make up the 2 different levels of the Thundercats' home. This is the main entrance of the Cat's Lair, where all the Thundercats would enter into their domicile. The structures to the left and the right are futuristic in nature. They do have a sort of almost Star Wars quality to them. But we have seen in several episodes that these are actually bedrooms that Panthro or Chitara would often peer out into the night when awoken by danger. The staircase is quite significant, as many a time Lion-O and the Thundercats would be racing down these steps when trouble was brewing, and it's wonderfully captured and realized here in 3D form, thanks to Dario's efforts. But it's this wonderful juxtapositioning of styles with the smooth concrete-like structures of the walls, rough staircase, but it really does give that extra bit of character between the 2 styles. Even the landings have this tile-like flooring, which is wonderfully added and really does give that interesting definition, the overall feeling of the Cat's Lair. Moving over towards the paws, we can see that there is the representation of the 2 gigantic gears which help to lift up the 2 paws of the Cat's Lair. It's unknown whether these are actually working structures on this version of the Cat's Lair, but I do believe that these are actually just stationary and for appearances only. Taking a closer look at one of those paws, it really is pretty evident that this is more of a 1/3 representation in scale to 6-inch figures. You can really appreciate all the little details that Dario has put into this. The collar of the Cat's Lair is wonderfully represented here. The symbol of the Thundercats hanging off of its necklace. The 2 shoulder spikes wonderfully represented here as well. It was never really explained if these were defensive in any means, but they are a wonderful design nonetheless. Scrolling down further, we do see additional design elements on the side of the arms, peering out to the distance as defensive positions. Here in the chest, we can see the wonderful detailing of the main observation deck and meeting room of the Thundercats. The bay window here has been featured featured in multiple episodes of the cartoon, and there's even a doorway where Lion-O's coronation was held in the Trials of Lion-O. I can't tell you how impressed I am by this piece, and I do tip my hat to Dario. I am so impressed at the skill and level of artistry that it took to actually put this entire piece of artistry together. You really can get the sense that it's more of a compromise of size, giving it a 1/3 dimension, much the same way LJN did with their original playset, allows for playability and posability, and still has a wonderful presence, which I think can be replicated in action figure form, and possibly could be a way that Super 7 takes a look at this and realizing that this actually might be possible. Here we have Dario posing with his creation, and zooming out, we can see just how big this thing really is. I mean, this thing is absolutely massive. Dario's hand is literally dwarfed by the cat's lair paw, and as I said earlier, this isn't even the full extension of what it should be, but it is an impressive playset nonetheless, and I really do tip my hat to Dario. Bravo, my friend. This is absolutely incredible. Guys, definitely head over to Dario's Instagram page, Dario_N.F. He's got some amazing projects and dioramas which he's showcased here, and they are insane. Give him a like and a follow. Tell him that Jay sent you. This is a proof of concept which has come true, and the fact that they are announcing something to be coming soon really does give me hope that this is a big possibility for an Ultimate style version of the Cat's Lair. Although I am cautiously optimistic about an Ultimate's Cat's Lair in possibly a 1/3 presentation, I think it should be noted that the more realistic way to bring a Cat's Lair to life would be to make it for the Reaction line. And although I'm not a big fan of Reaction, I will say that no matter what, if they do create a Cat's Lair, regardless of scale, I would be all in on picking up a Cat's Lair for Reaction figures, as this has been a long time grail of mine, ever since I saw commercials for it back in 1985 and 86. And I just can't bring myself to pay $400 for a complete example today. Having an opportunity to pick up something from Super 7, even in the Reaction scale, would be absolutely perfect for me. And I'm super excited to see what Super 7 has up their sleeves. I want to give another huge shout out to Dario for sharing this wonderful piece with us. My friend, you are absolutely talented. Definitely give Dario a like and a follow. Tell him that Jay sent you. And I can't wait to see what they have in mind. Wow, guys, that's absolutely insane. I mean, seriously, Dario has made something absolutely incredible, and the fact that he shouted out Super 7 and not even a few months later, announcements were made, at least teased for something which is at least showcasing the Cat's Lair in the background. I mean, what else could it be, right? Seriously. I do have to, temper our expectations, though, considering the fact that it's easier to make a scaled version of the Reaction. I mean, let's be perfectly honest, this thing is not going to be able to be made in a full 1/6 scale version. It's going to have to come down to about a 1/3, shrunk down edition. There's just no way anything like that can happen. And in reality, that's similar to what LJN did for their version of the Thundercats Cat's Lair. And it worked out pretty good. You're going to still be able to get a ton of Thundercats onto this thing. You're still going to be able to do a lot of wonderful poses and photographs with it. And it's just going to look so magnificent on your shelf. I mean, Dario's example pretty much is 1/3 the scale to the actual Thundercats. And it looks absolutely incredible. So I personally would want one of those in my collection, even though it's going to take up a crap ton of room. I mean, between Snake Mountain, the Thunder Tank itself, and all the other collectibles I have, I'm literally running out of space here, guys. It's going to be nuts, but I still need this thing in my possession. It's going to be crazy. Guys, let me know in the comment section below, are you interested in picking up an Ultimates 1/6 scale, somewhat reduced version of the Thundercats Cat's Lair? Or are you kind of hoping and looking forward to something a little bit smaller in the terms of the Reaction line? Or is this absolutely nuts and you're not even considering picking up something this big, regardless of if it's an Ultimates or Reaction line? Let me know those comments in the comment section below, guys. If you enjoyed this episode, please do leave me a like. It really helps me out. And if you're in the position to help with the channel, please consider checking out my Patreon page. It's MegaJRetro on Patreon. Guys, the patrons and channel members of this channel help me make wonderful episodes every single week, and I couldn't do it without them. They are the best. Thank you so much for your support, everybody. It really means the world to me. Guys, I hope you're all doing well, staying safe. And as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Thundercats! Ho! Good journey, everyone. Geek proud. I want to give a huge shout out to all my Patreon and channel member supporters. Thank you so much, everybody. It's thanks to your support that this channel continues to grow, and I really could not have done this without you. You guys are the best. Thank you so much for your support, guys. It really means a lot and really helps the channel to keep growing.